Hey guys, it's Rachel from The Little Ring Lamb, and today I'm actually filming a book tag, which you know from the title of this video. I really procrastinated. I was supposed to film yesterday, but I'm filming on the day I'm going to be uploading, hence why I'm wearing my football shirt. Hopefully, you know, they pull off a win. I believe they're playing today if I double-checked. I need to double-check that after I finish filming this. But this is like my Sunday attire. This shirt or my other shirt really takes away the options. Anyway, so Halloween's obviously coming up on Tuesday, so I was looking around to see what Halloween tags were kind of out there, and I found this one tag that's not Halloween necessarily, but kind of fits in. So it's Josh's Classic Candy Book Tag, so it's a classic candy book tag. And yeah, I just saw this, thought it sounded interesting. Candy, Halloween, kind of synonymous, so I decided to go with it. And the channel is Literary Gladiators, and I'm going to link it in the down bar. Definitely go check out his video. I really enjoyed it. I sat there and watched the whole thing, and I had never seen this channel, and he does a lot of bookish food tags, so I'm going to be interested in checking out more of those. I'm just so behind my YouTube feed, it's not even funny. So we're going to go with the questions. So I'm looking down, looking at my phone, FYI. So number 1 is Altoids, most classic, as in oldest work you read or your favorite among the oldest works you've read. So for that, I picked Candide by Voltaire, and I had to read this for school, and it's probably one of the older texts I have actually read. I don't remember the year it came out, but I really enjoyed this because I was in a pre-law philosophy program, and during my time in school, I had to read many books, many philosophy texts, and this one was told in a story format, which also made it just more enjoyable and manageable to get down because sometimes they can be a bit of a slog. Not that they are bad, but sometimes when you're reading novels in your spare time, you're reading a text that's very dense and packed with stuff, it's just could take a little bit to get out of it, but that one I've thoroughly enjoyed, and I want to reread it eventually. This was actually my school edition too, that's why the cover's so weird. Number 2, Necco Wafers. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. A writer you can rely on time and time again. So I picked Sarah Shepard because she has wrote so many of my favorite books. She is my most read author, so you know, it kind of goes hand in hand, and I've never been disappointed by anything she's written thus far. Number 3 is Skybar, your favorite diverse collection of short works. So I only have one anthology, and I think I actually got rid of it. So I picked this book, Ask Elizabeth by Elizabeth Berkley, and this is basically a guide for teenage girls, and it's like where people wrote in letters, so it's like breaking free of a bad mood, seeing how like girl power, that kind of thing, like dealing with like dieting, like not to diet, but like dealing with the aftermath and how to be like healthy and not like, you know, starve yourself. When we were the targets, like bullying, like it's just like a little helpful thing where people wrote in letters and their own stories. And it's one of her initiatives. The actress, she was actually in Saved by the Bell. She played Jessie, if you recognize the name. And it's one of her initiatives, and I really liked it. I was about a good age for picking up. I was saying I was 14 or 15, and it was very helpful. Like, I didn't get super much, like a lot of it because I do have a good support system, and a lot of these things weren't applicable, but it was interesting seeing how other people dealt with situations that I could have or could encounter in the future. Okay, so number 4 is O. Henry. Have you read O. Henry? No, I haven't, and there's a question that's applicable if you've read O. Henry, which I haven't. Number 5, B.B. Batts. Some of these I haven't even heard of. Favorite work about a sport or game. So I picked Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella, and from the cover of this and from what most people know, they'd be like, what, if they haven't read it? But Audrey's brother, Frank, is obsessed with the video game world, and it's a subplot going on in the book, and it's so hilarious. It's one of the best subplots I've read. I absolutely adore it. So as soon as I heard the word game, I was like, Finding Audrey, because that made me laugh so much. 6, Candy Cigarettes. A mediocre or bad work you read because you thought it would make you look cool. This one's kind of difficult because I'm going to get some hate for it, I feel like. But I picked 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I read this when I was in grade 7. Was I? Let me just check what the publication date just to make sure. But I believe I read this when I was in grade 7. When did it first come out? 2007. Yes, I was in grade 7 in 2007. I either read in 2007 or the early half of 2008. And I didn't think it would necessarily make me cool, but this book was going around a bit. It was very popular. I don't really read to be cool, but this book, especially now with the TV show, I haven't yet to see the TV show. I don't think I'm ever going to watch it, to be completely honest with you guys. I didn't enjoy the book too much. I just couldn't connect with the characters. It didn't make me connect with the characters, and when I say that, it sounds weird, but I didn't feel anything for them. And this book was supposed to make me feel for the characters, and I didn't feel anything. They were just kind of stale to me, and I know that's kind of controversial. Do I think the issue, like it's good to write about suicide? Yes, absolutely. It was just the characters in this book. It's not the topic altogether because I'm fine reading about suicide and dark topics and hard topics, but it was just the characters that, yeah, it was mediocre. I wouldn't say it's horrible because I do appreciate that the work is out there and it's bringing awareness and people are talking about it, like no matter what you feel about it. So, because I have really skewed thoughts on it, so I get myself in a little bit of trouble. Not anything bad. I just have like, I don't know, I just sometimes play devil's advocate, or I sometimes have different opinions than others. That sounds like I'm leaning one way or the other, but I'm not going to get into it. Nothing that like if somebody has a different opinion, I'd beat them up about it. Like I'm completely fine. I like hearing other people's opinions, but I have my own formed opinion and it's always willing to be changed. Before getting into it, 7 M&Ms. What type of books are easiest for you to take on the go? Literally any book that's not like one of those big books like my Grand Budapest Hotel book. As long as it's like a regular novel, I can take it as long as it's compact. Like this size, mass paperback, doesn't matter. It just can't be like one of those guidebooks that are like the big squares. 8 Tootsie Pops. A bookish question you're looking for an answer to. My bookish question would be, why do people get so offended personally when you say you haven't read Harry Potter? Like, people act like it's like a blasphemy, and I don't get why. Yeah, I haven't read it. Have you read Dying to Know You by Ian Chambers? Don't think so. Like, I don't get why people, like, some people get so personally hurt and afflicted by that, but I haven't. I don't have any interest in it. Why would I read it and then give it a bad score? Wouldn't you rather be unblemished? I don't have any interest. And people are so rude about that sometimes. Like, not all people, but, some people are, and it's like, get a hold of yourself. Yes, it's a beloved book, but I'm not going around beating out. Like, if you really wanted to read the book, you're going to make a convincing case, not bully me into reading it. But I don't honestly think at this point in my life I would read it. Maybe if, like, down the line if I had kids and they read it. Maybe. But probably not. Myself. It probably wouldn't be because of myself. But would I never tell anybody not to read it. It's just not my cup of tea. I haven't read it, so I can't fully say that. But for me, it's just not something I'm interested in. But I'm glad it obviously exists because it brings so many people joy. Pop Rocks. A work that caused you to explode in either anger, happiness, tears, excitement. All Those Emotions Were Contained in Vicious by Sarah Shepard, the last book in the Pretty Liars series. The series ended before, then it came back, and this one made me so happy, but it broke my heart, and then I was sad, and then I was mourning. Brought out a lot of emotions in me. 10 Charleston Chews, your favorite work from the 1920s. For this, I picked Maria Chapdelaine, A Tale of French Canada by Louis Hemont. I read this for my contemporary Canadian fiction class. This book was published in 1916, but the English edition was published in the 1920s, and I read it in English, so I counted this one. I really adored this book. I just have really good memories of reading it, and that class was a great class. 11 Wax Lips, a work that your question its existence. I never really want to, this is something I've been working on with myself, but I don't want to question a work's existence. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean somebody else won't like something. That sounds like a stupid cop-out answer, but it is true. Like, I could think a book's complete, like, be like, why does this even exist? If it's like, let's say it's something, I have firm beliefs in something and it goes against those firm beliefs, yeah, I could think like, why does this exist? Why do you people even think this way? But I appreciate why it exists, because if everything was skewed towards stuff I would like, that'd be really overwhelming. Like, there has to be stuff I like and sometimes stuff I don't. There has to be stuff that's going to challenge my viewpoint. I feel like the way we can develop strong opinions is from challenging those opinions with other people's. Like, you can't just come out and have a firm opinion without actually challenging it and looking at both sides. So I never want to say something is like, I question its existence, because its existence could very well help me form an opinion, if that makes sense. That's something I've been really thinking about lately. Especially book tags, I feel like sometimes there's such an emphasis. Like, there's a difference between not liking a book and not wondering why it exists. Like, I feel like even if I don't like the book, I can still appreciate the act that the author went through to create this work. And that's why I never want to beat up on a book and be like, I can hate the characters and content of the book, but I can appreciate that the author took the time to put it, and it's just not my cup of tea. And I know sometimes I can be a little bit harsh and brash with sometimes my saying, but that's something I'm trying to be conscious of. 12 is Candy Store. What is your favorite classic candy? I picked M&M's or Cadbury chocolate. Really chocolate. I love chocolate. It's my favorite. Like, that's like if I want to snack on something. And I think it's also because I don't drink coffee and it gives me that little caffeine kick. Yeah. And I was going to say I'm going to have chocolate after this, but have to wait till next weekend because I have some chocolate sitting there and it's going to be my reward for getting through the work week. 13 Broken Pinata, who do you tag? I tag anybody. I'm not really sure who's done this. I didn't do my research. So if you're watching this and want to do it and want to, you know, use me as an excuse, go ahead. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Definitely let me know if you have any other answers or opinions. Really anything you felt from this video, let me know in the bottom bar. Obviously, don't be rude, but, you know, yeah. That kind of goes without saying, but I want to thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.